Hey, welcome everybody to Blogging for Profit. I'm Chris During, and I'll be the presenter today. Today we're going to be talking about domain names for our blog, and so we wanted to kind of go over just a few simple tips to kind of help you guys in doing some looking and maybe get some audience participation here as we go through this process. So first, I want to go back to last week. We decided last week that we're going to do a blog based on cover songs and unplugged music. So we're going to do some music type things. So that being our niche and our main keywords there, I wanted to maybe get some of your ideas for what might make a good domain name for this particular site. Don't send anything in just yet. I want to go through a few things with you guys, and then we'll spend some time kind of looking over those, and eventually through the course of this webinar, I'd like to actually make a decision, and then as soon as we're off the webinar, I'll go ahead and secure that domain name for us as long as it's available, and we'll get that all set up and good to go. So let's go over something from one of my favorite SEO experts here. His name is Rand Fishkin. He's a pretty popular guy in the SEO world. He put together a nice little post here for us on some rules for choosing a good domain name. So I wanted to go through those with you here. So he suggests that first we want to take a look at some of the top keywords in our industry and kind of decide what are some of the things we want to target, maybe in the top 5 keywords. If we can find something specific for those keywords, it'd be good. He also suggests we make the domain name unique. We don't want to be confused with a website that is already out there that's popular in our industry, right? I don't want to be confused with Napster or iTunes or something along those lines. So we're going to stay away from names of that sort. Not that we're doing the same thing as those guys, but just along those same lines, they're the popular ones in that industry. Definitely, we want it to be a .com extension. You'll notice there are lots and lots of extensions nowadays. As we go through and look, you can get .info, .org, .co, .us, .me, all sorts of different things, .site, right? There's a ton of them now, but the one that most people are really, really familiar with is .com. And so when we say something, we want it to be easily understood and remembered. .com is going to be the best way to go for sure. So we want it to be a .com. Okay. We want to make it easy to type out, right? So we want to make sure we're doing things correctly. We don't want to use kind of strange things, no dashes. We want, it says here, avoid Q, Z, X, C, and P as they're more difficult to type, apparently. So interesting advice there. I'd never heard that until I saw this post. We want it to be easy to remember, and the easier it is to remember, the better chance that someone's going to keep it in mind and come back to it. We'd like it to be as short as possible, so it's easy to type in and fit in our, in our marketing, in our conversations, and in everything we do. We're going to be using that, so we want to make sure that is as short as possible. I like to try to keep it under 3 words and keep those fairly short if we can. And so we want the domain name, it says here, to create and fulfill expectations. So we want that when someone hears the domain name, they should know exactly what it is we're doing. And I don't want to be creating a domain name like, well, for example, GoDaddy.com, right? Is a kind of an oxymoron in this industry, because by saying GoDaddy.com, we have no idea what they do. Now, when they launched, they spent $1 million on buying advertising on the Super Bowl, and so they became very popular right away, and people knew what they were doing because of that. But someone just hearing GoDaddy.com has no idea what they do if they don't already know. Okay? We want to avoid copyright infringement. So we don't want to use words that are potentially copyrighted, company names, things like that. We'll avoid that. We want to set ourselves apart by creating a domain name that can become a brand, right? A brand name. And it gives some examples here. Mortgageforyourhome.com or loan rates online are not as compelling as brand names as Bankrate or LendingTree.com. And so it's kind of a catch-22 here between the create and fulfill expectations, which these names do well, and the setting yourself apart as from branding. We've got to kind of balance those, right? And then we'll keep going down here. We reject hyphens and numbers. We're going to keep it simple, just straightforward letters, no dashes and things like that. We don't want to follow trends, right? A lot of trends out there at various times. You'll have, and this is a good example here. A lot of times businesses would start their business name with AAA because that puts them first in the phone book. Well, obviously that's not the case in marketing on our internet business. So as we get listed in Google, it's not going to appear at the top just because it's in alphabetical order. So we don't need to follow those types of trends. Okay. So good. So that's kind of the advice that Rand Fishkin gives. And so I wanted to go ahead and open it up now to the audience, and let's discuss some of the domain names that you guys think might make for a good name for our blog, and we'll decide on one here together today. So go ahead and think about it for a little bit. Let's see what you come up with. All right, Jeff shoots one out here already. musictoyourears.com. I like that, with the exception of the number 2. A couple things there, of course. We want to avoid the numbers. We also want to avoid things that are misspelled or easily confused when we talk about them. So, for example, 2 here in this case, if I said that to you versus seeing it, or you were to say it to me versus me seeing it here typed out, would I know that it was the number 2? Would I type in TO? Would I type in TOO? Would I type in TWO? So that one's a little bit confusing there, but we're on the right track. I like that. What else have you guys got for me?
Well, you don't really find anything there. You just
Top Pop. Violetta, that's an interesting idea. Very short, very simple. Yeah, I kind of like that. TopPop.com. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up GoDaddy here. I'm going to try that one, toppop.com, and see if it's available here. Oh, unfortunately, yeah, toppop.com is taken. Now, one thing that GoDaddy does that we can take a look at while you guys are thinking of some other names for me here is we can look at some of their different options that might be available. So it gives us, some things here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just checkmark.com, and then it kind of gives us some alternatives. SuperiorPop.com, GreatestPop.com, LeadingPop.com, TopPopHub.com. I'm not too opposed to that one, actually. I kind of like that. TopPopMart.com, TopPopTech.com, TopPopHome.com, TopPopZone.com. That one's interesting as well. I like that kind of Top Pop Zone. TopPopToday.com, also kind of an interesting idea. Top Pop World, Top Pop Online, Top Pop Studio, Being Music, I don't mind that one. Top Pop Center, Top Pop Previews, Top Pop Systems, Top Pop Network, Top Pop Solutions, and toppopin.com. And then it gives us a couple of others in here that are kind of exclusive, that $5,000 or $3,000. I'm not going to pay that for our webinar's purposes today. So we'll have to keep thinking. But let's go ahead and pull back up the list. Any other ideas that you guys have come up with here? Okay, well there are 7 of us here today, so we're a little bit short, but I want to go ahead and leave it up to you guys. If there's no other suggestions, I'm gonna pick out a couple of these. Oh, okay. Well, we've got another one here to look at, so let me go over this one. MelodyChain.com. MelodyChain.com. I kind of like that as well. Violetta's got some good ideas here. MelodyChain.com. Let's take a look at that. Hey, now that one is available. MelodyChain.com is available. Now I like that. Okay, so here's the question. We're gonna pick a domain name today. You guys can vote, 1 vote apiece, and I would like everyone to do so. So please, in your question box, type in for me which one you prefer. We're going to go with MelodyChain.com as one option, and I want to go. Darn it! Let's see. What was the other one? Top Pop. There we go. And we want to do. Let's see. Which one of these ones do I like best? I think we're going to look at that one. What was it? Top Pop Studio. Yeah, toppopstudio.com. Okay, so those are the 2 choices: MelodyChain.com or toppopstudio.com. I think both of those meet all of our requirements, keeping it pretty simple, pretty straightforward, talking about what we do. So go ahead and vote now between MelodyChain and Top Pop Studio. And okay, so we've got 2 votes in. Anybody else? We've got 7 of us here. Let's Let's get those in. All right, there's 3 votes in.
And you could do other websites, right? But with your guys, it's a really big fashion type site. We'll have multiple suppliers that feed into it.
Okay, well, there's our answer there. With our 4th vote, we've kind of secured it already, so no need to vote at this point. We're going to go with melodychain.com. So melodychain.com is the winner. I'll go ahead and secure that here today, and we will get that domain name connected and attached here next week for our blog, and we'll get started blogging. So great work today, everybody. Your assignments today for your blogs, I'd like you to kind of refine that niche research that we've done. If you want, let me include the link here. I'm going to put this, if I can, in the handout for you. Nope. Let me just put it here and send that out. There's the link to Rand Fishkin's article, so you guys can read through that in a little bit more detail if you'd like. And then I'd like you each to pick out a domain name for a blog that you'd like to do. We'll talk about that a little bit more next week and kind of show you guys how to get started. We'll be continuing through this process and showing you how to do it and creating one ourselves as we go. But I'm excited. melodychain.com is going to be good. So we'll go ahead and let's open this up to any questions and see what you guys have as far as that's concerned.